first of all, give me considerably more self-confidence. Not that I was bereft of it, but it really helped. It allowed me to learn how to interact with people much better. I'm told that I, quote, treated people differently when I came back from the mountain and the whole program, and that's kind of interesting, but it taught me a lot of things, and one is inclusiveness, and the other is practical things such as how to run a meeting. And heavens knows in the subsequent 20 plus years, I've run a lot of meetings, and it was really quite critical to teach me how to do that. Inclusiveness is the base of it, and making sure everyone has their say. So those are the things that it's done for me, so to speak. And I think that's significant.
Helped to show that all sides have a voice, and that just because you may not necessarily agree with someone's opinion doesn't mean that you can't work through the issues and come to a solution. But you know, it is an experience that you know, I wish a lot more people could experience, because it might you know, help when you get into issues that are a little sticky, trying to be able to bring all sides together and get a common resolution out of it. And people who have been in ALF, when they get into meetings sometimes, you know, I've had the thought, because I wish all these other people had been in ALF, it'd be much easier. So then you have to really pull on all of your skills, the things that you learn, to try to get people to act the way you feel like they ought to, through, you know, ALF teachings and things like that. So it's been great for me.
David made a comment a minute ago that I think is very important. He said that he didn't know anybody in the group. That reminded me of my friend Milton Carroll, who was in my class. And he tells the story of showing up at the first meeting, looking across the room. We're all kind of sitting around in a circle. And some way or another, he kind of knew who I was. And he looked across the room and he said, "Now, what am I doing here with him? He and I have absolutely nothing in common." Well, by the end of the year, Milton and I found out we had a lot in common. And in fact, it was just yesterday, as a matter of fact, I ran into him at lunch, and we had a great visit. And we have a bond that you can't get any other way. So you'd be surprised what you have in common with people sometimes. I think it would be a less collaborative and less open place. So I think it's a great addition to Houston. Tough as it is to quantify, I think it's
without ALF, Houston would be a much bigger city as in terms of the folks who feel like that they don't know somebody. So you figure that if class size is, you know, 26 people, those 26 people know a bunch of other people as well. And so by being part of the ALF family, you not only have access to the people in ALF, but you have access to the people that the people in ALF know. So I think that helps kind of shrink the size of Houston as far as spheres of influence. And I think that's been very helpful in all manners of issues. Whether
the need for diverse groups to have common ground is ever more important in our our world. Just look, see what's going on in Washington. That's most unfortunate.
When things come up, I kind of think back and think that, that's a group that needs ALF. And there have been many times during this last, basically 2-week period, where I've kind of thought, because Congress needs ALF. and I would just, if that could happen, if Congress could be class 33, then it would be a lot of fun to just witness that. I'm not sure if 300 and something people could work it out quite the way that 26 people can, but yeah, I mean, there will always be a need for ALF. I think this past 2 weeks has certainly illustrated that on the national level, and in Houston and in other cities where there have been very, very large community issues that have taken a very long time to work out. If some of the folks had been, I guess, either ALF or more ALF-like, then perhaps it wouldn't have taken as long to get through it. But I think that as long as there are communities that need to be either created or have issues resolved, I think there'll always be a need for ALF and organizations like ALF. I don't think they may say the world is getting smaller, but the issues aren't getting any smaller. And so until there aren't any issues, there's always going to be a need for organizations like ALF.